Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're located on the earth. It's time for another PulseWave report with yours truly, the Algo Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com, home of the world famous PulseWave price trigger reports. It's been a while, it's been some time since you have heard from me because I have been so heavy in the lab working on some stuff for you. So let's take a look at where we are this morning with these markets. First and foremost, you can see here, this is the mighty Bitcoin futures composite index. And as you can see, the market's pretty much just moving sideways. And this is going on day 4. You are in a pullback situation going on right now, which has the potential to become a correction. But right now, it's just a pullback. Haven't had one on the weekly charts in a while. This is a weekly chart. All right. So this is the first time you're seeing this in a very long while. So the question is, will the momentum continue to pick up on the downside or not? Another issue that was that came up was there was like this little mini flash crash the other day, where the markets just dipped off, but then they corrected themselves, and this was in the crypto zone. So the question remains, what's really going on? And to be honest with you, there are a lot of things going on. We're now living in a time where the Federal Reserve has caused so much damage to the market that things don't go the way they're supposed to go. So we have all types of things jumping off. We are looking at the unintended consequences of the lockdowns from 2020, along with the unintended consequences of the U.S. meddling in foreign affairs. Okay. So this is what we have now. So now we have bombing going on now in Palestine. All right. So Israel just straight up pounded the Gaza overnight. And we got about 24 Palestinians, including 9 children that have been killed, with 2 Israeli women reported killed by the Gaza rocket fire. So as you can see here, Israel has killed 2 of their own in doing that. And they call it anti-Hamas operations. As you know, the U.S. has been the biggest supporter of Israel since day one. Regardless of what they do, if they do anything, good or bad, the U.S. has always been there. And you have unintended consequences that go with meddling. All right. So then on the home front, you got concerns and panic. People are like, we're about to head into a deflationary situation, or some people say, no, it's not deflation, it's inflation. And then you got the robots running loose, running wild on Wall Street. All right, propelled by these very large hedge funds who are abusing leverage. All right, and they're using high frequency trading bots to short tech stocks specifically. And then we got pipeline situation going on with fuel. They're already seeing gas runs at fuel stations. They're running dry, all right, because of the hacked pipeline. They claim that a hacker hacked the pipeline. We really need to talk about this, okay? We really do. We really need to talk about this. Now, I've spoke on this before. All right. I really have. And the thing that people need to understand and come to terms with is the empire known as America is falling. It's crumbling. It has gone completely soft. Remember, a nation is only as strong as its citizens. When you make all of your citizens victims, everyone's a victim. You can no longer have a conversation with the average American without offending them based on your vocabulary. And I don't mean abusive language or using curse words. I'm just saying just everyday verbal communication. If you say he or she or girl or boy or man or woman, you may trigger someone and set them off. So America is full of victims. America claims that she is a victim. America claims that she has suffered abuse so many times. To hear America tell it, America has been raped so many times. America says, woe is me on, back during World War II, I was violated. We were violated. If you look at the Panama Canal situation, America says she was victimized. You got the Gulf of Tonkin incident. America claims she was victimized. Got us into Vietnam. Then you claim America says, hey, I'm a victim again. World Trade Center bombings, early 90s. Didn't do too much damage to the building. Building remained intact. But again, America was saying, hey, there it is again. I'm being violated. America says, I am so sexy as a nation that other nations are thirsty after me. They want me. They see my gorgeous figure, i.e., freedoms, and they see our gorgeous, beautiful face, i.e., rights that are afforded to the people and opportunity afforded to the people, that if you want it, if you can dream it, you can make it happen in America. So America was like, I am so attractive that other nations think they can just rape me and do what they want to me. And I am now a victim. America says me too. All right. So that's how your national Me Too moment began. America said, I am a victim. America was a victim also in the late 70s, early 1980s. Remember, we had the Americans that were held hostage. Remember the Iran hostage crisis. Once again, America said, I was just minding my business, walking down the streets of Iran, and I got violated. I got raped. They jumped out of the bushes and grabbed me, and now you're holding Americans hostage. What are we going to do? America's being victimized yet again. Fast forward, September the 11th, 2001, America was just minding her business, going for a morning jog, and you got terrorists jumping out of the bushes and raping America, doing her dirty, mad violated. See what the terrorists have done to me. Woe is me. Who is going to help me? It sucks to be me. I'm so pretty as a nation. I'm so sexy as a nation that other nations envy me. And since they can't have me, they want to violate me. All right. That is what America has done. Now America is a victim again. 9/11. Oh no. And then we've had numerous hacking incidents. Oh, China just hacked me. Oh no, Russia just hacked our elections. So many nations are just raping America and taking advantage of her because they're jealous of her freedoms and jealous of her gorgeous looks, her opportunity. She's the freest nation on earth. They hate our democracy. So every time they see me, they just violate me. America the victim. Fast forward some more. America's like, oh my goodness. Now our interest overseas is being compromised. So now we got to go over here and bomb some more nations. We got to bomb, Iraq and Afghanistan. We got to go out here and bomb everything. Okay. Because I've been violated. I am the innocent victim here. But then during the court proceedings, you hear them say, America's on the stand, and they're like, America, is it not true that you are a whore? Objection, Your Honor. Abusing the witness. No, sustain, answer the question, America. I don't understand your question. Yes, you do, America. Isn't it true that you have went to bed with so many countries by the way of doing financial crimes where you get these, you shake down other countries for money? What are you talking about? Yes, is it not true that you allow foreign interest to come into your elections? Did you not change the laws and allow for super PACs that are backed by foreign interests and foreign governments? I don't know what you're talking about. Is it not true that you've been to bed with China? You were even in bed with Russia. Is it not true that your American companies backed, supported financially Adolf Hitler? I don't objection, Your Honor. No, 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 no. These are all facts. Is it not true that you have played the harlot, America? Is it not true that you trained Osama bin Laden? Is it not true that you trained Iraq's president? Did they not get education here in America? Saddam Hussein, does that name ring a bell to you? I don't know what you're talking about. Isn't it true, America, that when those federal buildings were bombed back in the mid 90s, 1990s, that the young individual who you claim did it, wasn't he an enlisted man in the United States military? Did he not have top security clearances? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm the victim here. Is it true, America, that you have arranged and or allowed for multiple U.S. presidents to be assassinated? I don't know what you're talking about. Is it not true, America, that you have allowed the pharmaceutical industrial complex to take over and control the entire medical industry? And is it not true, America, that you allowed for government experiments on the human citizenry without their knowledge or approval? I object, Your Honor. Answer the question, America. I don't know what you're talking about. Your Honor, permission to treat America as a hostile witness. Granted, America, is it not true that even today in 2021, you have single-handedly managed to put the entire world on house arrest with phony statistics and information and misinformation and disinformation about said coronavirus? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm the victim here. Why are you treating me like this? Ladies and gentlemen, America, the victim, we present to you. America's a victim. Everything about America is victim. America is the victim. She goes across the oceans, bombs other countries, and then when those countries fight back, they call them and label them insurgents or terrorists. The country's freedom fighters who are trying to push back the colonists, the occupiers, they're labeled as terrorists. So now all these chickens are coming home to roost, and America is playing the victim yet again. The harlot is playing the victim. However, remember, every action has a reaction. For every choice and decision you make, there are consequences. There can be good consequences and there can be bad consequences. But when you do evil, not just against your own people, but then you go overseas and do evil, your evil is going to find you out and you're going to have to deal with it. Ladies and gentlemen, our forefathers are rolling in their graves because they fought to beat back communism from overtaking the world and overtaking the United States. And now here in 2021, we have a large portion of the citizenry begging for communism and have gone on record without blushing and saying that, yes, we're communists. And they've used colorful language and euphemisms and trickeration to change the meaning of what it means to be communist. So they'll use words like Marxist. I'm a trained Marxist. I am a socialist. I believe in socialism. All of these things are under the umbrella of communism, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a communist. No, you don't understand. I don't mean that type of socialism. I mean democratic socialism. Socialism is socialism is socialism. Just like cyanide is cyanide is cyanide. It does not matter if you mix Coca-Cola in with your cyanide, or if you choose to sprinkle your cyanide with lemon juice. All right. Or if you decide to pour a 40 into your glass of cyanide, it doesn't matter what you blend it with or what you put in it and add to it. It's still cyanide, and it's still going to kill you deader than a hammer the moment you drink it. Nonetheless, this is where we are today. This is where we are today. The American people have been lulled to sleep by deceptive tactics and outright lies. America is built on lies. And now these lies and the consequences therein are coming home to roost. America has been allowed to cover up a lot of things, especially when it comes to the economy, for a long time. See, it doesn't look as bad because we don't have bread lines, because now you can get, debit cards and things of that nature. So they can hide the intensity of the bread lines, okay? But it's hard to hide things when it gets to a certain point. I may be able to hide a tiny bag of potato chips, on my person. But it's going to be harder for me to hide 10 bags of potato chips on my person. I may be able to hide, let's say, a Tylenol pill in my pocket and walk around with no bulge, nothing's being detected. But it's a lot harder to hide 1,000 Tylenol pills in my pocket without it being detectable. So at some point, you're not able to cover things up anymore or as easily as you used to. Case in point, homelessness. If one or two people are homeless in your county, it may go unnoticed. 10 people are homeless in your jurisdiction, may go easily unnoticed. Maybe even 20, maybe even 100, because you live in an area, you live in a big city or whatever, or a big town where there's a lot of people. So that 100 people that are homeless could easily go unnoticed. But it's a lot harder when there's 1,000 homeless people in your jurisdiction or 10,000 people homeless in your jurisdiction. You can no longer easily hide that, not without going through some great lengths. You look at the state of California, you look at what's going on in Seattle, Washington, and you see the tent cities everywhere. You see people sleeping in tents on the sidewalk. Okay. That's a lot harder to cover up. Now, there have been other jurisdictions where they have gotten slick, like in South Carolina, where they'll round up all their homeless people and send them to like a penitentiary, somewhere this maybe a live one or an inactive one, somewhere where they can just get them out of view, send them to the outskirts of town or whatever. But not all jurisdictions are able to do that. So there's some things that start to become visible. All right. It's hard to hide the fact that you have chicken pox because you got pox all over your body, face, everything. Okay. If you only had one little mole on your back, you could easily hide that by wearing a shirt. But if you have moles all over your face, that's a lot harder to cover up. And we're getting to the point where the nation is no longer able to cover up all of its shortcomings, all of its noticeable deficits. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the world powers are desperate. They're becoming desperate to maintain power and control because they can feel it slipping and things getting away from them. But they are going to continue to try to do so. Now, if you look again at this weekly Bitcoin futures chart, you can see what I'm talking about. This is not a normal thing. Now, take a look at this one. This is the Dow futures. Like I said, you're getting to the point where you're not going to be able to hide stuff much longer. All right, this is the Dow topping out at 35,000. I warned you way back here that we were going to be hitting the Dow 30,000s. Y'all remember that? Here we are at 35,000. Despite the market being down what it is today, let me ask you a question. Do you see any technical damage on this chart? Let me blow it up bigger for you. Do you see any technical damage on this chart whatsoever? And this is a weekly chart. No, you do not. No, you do not. But this is not where the problem is. Let's show you where the problem is. Take a look at your E-mini NASDAQ 100 futures chart. Now you start to see a slightly different picture. Just slightly. But there's a disconnect. Yes, the NASDAQ is down pretty decent, but it's roaring back. It's only down 50 points. At some point, it was down like 200-300. Now it's only down 50. Now you can see here we topped out at 14,064 in the futures. Now you're at 13,307. So you're in that pullback status. But even with today's action, this week's action, there's no real technical damage on the chart. You have not changed trend. As a matter of fact, this market will probably break 15,000 before summer even gets here. You need to understand what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, in these markets. Let me show you something else. So you got the Dow down heavy, down about 500. You got the NASDAQ only down 50. But what about your bond futures, your flight to safety? What flight and what safety? Here's your bond futures, all right? It's the long bond, all right? What do you see on this chart? You see this thing has been pretty much on the negative, for a minute, okay? Hitting new lows, right? Technically speaking, the bond market is kind of stabilizing itself at this 156 level, but nevertheless, it is down 19-30 seconds today, ladies and gentlemen. There is no flight to safety here. This entire bond market is broken. Why is it broken? Because the Fed has taken over this particular market, because the Fed has been manipulating the bond market. The Fed is the only one in here buying the bonds, keeping them propped up. And they're losing control. They're losing that battle, because in order to keep interest rates at zero, right, you need bond prices to rise, not fall. It's an inverse relationship. In order to keep interest rates at zero or near zero, you got to have bond prices rising. But with bond prices falling, it's making it so that you don't have a choice. Rates are going to go up whether you wanted to or not. So you can try to keep it artificially low, but with this market falling apart, dropping from 191 and 22-30 seconds down to 156 and 30 seconds, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Let's look more. We're not done yet. I know what you're going to say. Well, that's why we got precious metals, Well, let's take a look at your gold. Why is your gold down $5.80 today? You got the equity market negative, deep in the negative, and now you got gold negative, and you got bonds negative. Somebody has some explaining to do. How is this even possible? Where's the flight to safety? Where's the flight to quality? It doesn't make sense. You got Bitcoin negative, gold negative, and bonds negative, along with stocks being negative. This is not supposed to happen. It's supposed to be impossible. Here's your silver. It's not faring much better. It is up 8 cents, and that's it. After hitting $28, it is now pulled all the way back to $27.58. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just saying, because of the manipulation and intervention in said markets, that's why you're seeing the breakdowns. Gold is being intervened, silver is being intervened, bond futures are being intervened, and now Bitcoin too is being managed. You're looking at managed markets, not free markets, managed markets. And you need to know how to handle it, because traditional means no longer apply, because everything's built on the microsecond, the millisecond, the hundredth of a second. Everything is being done by machines. Capitalism is not being allowed to work. Capitalism has not been allowed to work in the United States for decades now. This is not capitalism. Capitalism involves free markets, not managed markets. Free markets. All right? Free markets. You're not seeing that. You're having managed markets. Managed markets always break down like this. The price action, there's no price discovery. The market is being kept at bay. Look at this. Look at this bar right here. This is a weekly bar right here. All right. The week of August the 3rd of 2020. And look where we are today. This silver price has not gone anywhere and coming up on a year. Coming up on a whole year, you have not progressed in your silver. You have been trading right here. If you went to sleep on this day and you bought silver and you woke up today, you haven't made any money. You haven't made any money. Okay? Deal with it. These are facts. The markets were created like this to help the producers, the manufacturers, the users, the speculators who provide liquidity to the market. Does this look like speculation to you? Or does this look like more like a managed market to you? All right. Well, you're just picking on commodities, you know, show something else. Okay, well, here's your QQQ. Okay, this is an equity. It's an ETF, but it's an equity. So you see this straight upness, right? Straight upness, smooth. But how is it smooth like this when you've had all types of negative press with Facebook, but yet you still have an upward trajectory? How do you explain that one? Testifying before Congress, talking about the selling of people's data and data breaches and all this other stuff, but yet here you go, right? Let's take a look at another one. How about Facebook? Can you explain the upward trajectory of Facebook? Again, Mark Zuckerberg had to go and give an account. All right, had to go give an account to the lawmakers, explain himself, but the stock is still rising. The stock is still rising. How do you explain that? You can't. Managed markets. Managed markets. And of course, to top it all off, GameStop. Look at this weekly chart of GameStop. Look at this flat line, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not ignore the flat line. Look at this flat line. Look at this dot right here. This dot is from May of 2018, the week of May 14th of 2018. All right, you ranged from 1226 to 1388. You remain like this for years. Years. Flatline. Nothing is happening in this stock. Company not making money. Then all of a sudden, bam! The week of January the 11th of 2021, for whatever reason, you rise up from $19.01 all the way up to $483. Now, that's just your day session. The truth of the matter is, in the extended hour sessions, this stock did break over $500. So you went from $19 to over $500. All right. And it did that in the span of 2 weeks. And even today, it's still at $142. Why is that? Because this bar right here, this bullish pointer, mind you, set the trading range for the indefinite future on this particular stock. Doesn't matter. Fundamentals don't matter. The technicals don't even matter. This is neither technical nor fundamental. This is a managed market. All right. Someone decided that this company should be propped up and saved. Now, I'm not mad at that. I really, really enjoy GameStop. I like GameStop because they have a lot of games in there, you know, used games you can get for pennies on the dollar that are not even available in Nintendo's eShop or the PlayStation Store. All right, so I can go in there and I can find, you know, games that I didn't even know existed, and I can go in there, you know, leave out happy. So I support GameStop. I have the rewards card thing, the power up and all that, and I enjoy it. You know, I got mad games. Everyone knows who've been following me on this channel that I'm a gamer, an avid gamer. I've been gaming since the late 70s when handheld video games came out. Y'all remember the little football games, little digital joints, the little lines across the screen? Yeah, man. Yep. Ever since then, I've been a handheld game fanatic and video game fanatic. Period. So had all the systems going all the way back to the Atari 2600. You know, ColecoVisions and all that. I remember the first Nintendo DS. did come out around 1983. I just remember I was in middle school when it came up. It was orange and it flipped open, and it was pretty neat. It wasn't called a DS or a 3DS. It was still digital analog thing, but it was a Donkey Kong joint, and it was real fun. And that was like the thing. Then that's when they came in with the Pac-Man watch video game and all types of little stuff. So I appreciate GameStop. I was hoping and wishing that it wouldn't go away, because I was like, well, where will we go to trade in games? If you do it right, GameStop was always a place where you could go and trade the games that you don't want or don't want to play anymore, and you could go and trade them and come back home with a brand new video game. Depending on how much you had to trade in, the value of your trade in could purchase you a brand new game that just came out. So I would do that a lot. I still had it pushing like that. So I'm like, man, I love GameStop. So I was glad to see that this operation, is what I call it, took place to keep them open a lot longer and not go nowhere. But we all know that this is definitely an operation. This is not just some Reddit people deciding they're gonna buy this stock. No, sorry, it doesn't work like that. It takes serious money to move a stock like this. Penny stocks are easy to push around and pump and dump. Not a $10 and $20 and $30 stock. Nah, that's a little bit harder to do. All right. So it's very hard to do. So you come over here and you look at this, and you look at this volume spike right here too, during this week. That's a lot. That's a lot of money flow. All right. That is a lot of money flow. All right. We're talking 500 million shares. 500 million shares. All right. To be specific, 559,240,500 shares exchanged hands the week of January the 25th of 2021. This is 1 week's worth of trading, almost 1 billion shares. This is more than 500 million shares. This is not a penny stock that was selling for 1/100th of a penny. This was a $20 stock. They went up to 500. Do you know how many shares? Over 500, over 500 million. And you got to scale it up, because it started off at $20 and went up from there. That's a lot of money. All right. That is a lot of money. That's deep, deep pockets. The little retail specs are just a speck in that kind of a pool. 500 million shares, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. Get real. 500 million. No wonder this stock went like it did. And keep in mind, all back through here, your momentum was non-existent. Your open interest was non-existent. We're talking only tens of thousands, like 20,000 shares a day, sometimes trading hands. Not even that. You lucky if you got 12,000. All right. And this is on a weekly, not a day, a week. You are lucky if you got 20,000 shares to exchange hands in a week. All right. You go from an average of 20,000 shares a week to 500 million shares in a week. Yeah. Yeah, we got problems. Somebody has some explaining to do when that happens. That is not easy. That is a coordinated effort that took place. All right, no wonder they wanted to look into it. But they're like, what's going on? All right. But this is what a managed market looks like. This is what an intervention looks like. This is what it looks like when there's something going on behind the scenes or someone. How do we know that, you know, the shadowy government figures didn't come and bless this company because they agreed to do something? We don't know. We don't know. We don't know what secret society these people belong to. And they came in and took care of them and said, you do this for me, we're going to do this for you. You don't know that. All right. I'm just saying. Just something to think about, man, as you open your eyes to our surroundings and situation. So this is just something to think about, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to show you what disconnect looks like. I just want to show you what it looks like when you have the meddling that we've been having. Capitalism has not been allowed to flourish. We have been in a managed environment for decades, ladies and gentlemen. The proof is all around you. Look at the daily chart of this. See what I'm saying? You were flatline. Look at your daily chart. You've been flat forever. This stock was wood. It was going nowhere. And all of a sudden, look at this. Right? See what I'm saying? Wake up, man. Smell the coffee. See what's really good out here. See what time it is. All right? This is not a game. There are things going on, and you need to be aware of it. They're doing some evil stuff behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here's your soybeans. Look at your soybeans. We're at that $16 handle. I told you. Look at this. This is problematic, ladies and gentlemen. This is problematic, and no one's talking about it. It's like people don't even care. It's like they're not even awake. How can you not be awake? How can you not be awake? I don't understand. How can you not see this? This is crazy. This is crazy. Look at this. Look at this. Something is not right. They're preparing for things that they're not telling you about. I'm just saying. I've been talking about these things. I've been pointing these things out. You need the PulseWave report like never before so that you can navigate these wild swings and crazy movements. We know how to deal with this stuff because our robot is better than their robot. So we know what's what and where the money is and what's about to come up before it happens. Do you think that it was an accident? No. Our report that we sent out last night said crash alert sell signal for the Dow, crash alert sell signal for the Bitcoin futures, crash alert sell signal for the E-mini S&P 500, crash alert sell signal for the NASDAQ 100, crash alert sell signals all across the board, ladies and gentlemen. What do you do? So that Dow and that S&P was on high alert. All right. We had already had our signals in the NASDAQ and the Russell prior to this point. That's the disconnect between the markets. You had between the four, the NASDAQ, S&P, Russell, and Dow, You only had like two markets going up, and then the other two were headed down. That's a disconnect because these stock indexes move together. So when you don't see that movement together, you know there's something wrong. There's something very wrong with that picture. And that's one of the reasons why the NASDAQ is not falling completely apart like the Dow is today, because it had already done so. All right. Today was just a continuation for the Dow and the Russell, just a continuation pattern. All right. Because they had already been in decline for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Now you're starting to get the picture? I hope so. Disconnect. You break the markets when you keep messing with them and you don't allow for the free flow of price discovery. You make capitalism look bad when you don't allow capitalism to flourish. See, they claim that we're a capitalist society, but we're not really. We've never really been. The markets have not been allowed to be free-flowing price discovery. They've been managed. It's not a capitalist economy. It's an interventionalist economy. And it has been for a very long time. It's just been hush-hush until you get breaking news where Deutsche Bank and JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs get outed as working with the Federal Reserve to suppress interest rates, to suppress bond prices, to suppress precious metal prices, gold and silver prices. All right? Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. All right? It's messed up, man. It's really messed up. Now people want to blame capitalism. It's not capitalism. It's interventionalism that you've been seeing, along with rampant fraud across the board. Rampant fraud. Not just fraud, but rampant fraud. All right? And they allow it to go. And the people who do it don't get punished. The real people behind the fraud don't ever get punished. Only the sacrificial lambs get punished. The fall guy gets punished. They'll parade somebody out there and say he got to go. Say he the one that gotta go. He gotta go to prison. All right? I'm just saying, do the knowledge to this stuff, man. You got to see what's up, see what's good, understand what's going on. All right? We've been had inflation, no matter what the Fed was saying. Every time they did their little stand up, their little shtick. We've seen inflation in food and energy for the longest time. You got to acknowledge that too. You got to understand that this is real. This is not a game. Nothing here is funny, hee hee ha ha. This is not a game. This is real life, man. And what you're seeing is just the beginning. It's not looking good, man. You know, I was hoping that all the Democrats and Republicans would have been voted out of office and replaced with some independents that don't have any ties to the banking sector or the military industrial complex or the pharmaceutical industrial complex. None of that nonsense. But I guess that was wishful thinking, because what did the people do? They went ahead and voted them people right back in power again. Again. It's just over the top, man. Over the top ignorance. And it's been allowed to flourish. It's been allowed to destroy the nation. All right? People are just letting it happen, man. It's like people are asleep. People are literally asleep. They are literally not caring. As long as they figure they can be safe in their little cubby hole. They're not thinking about anything else. And it's messed up. It's messed up. So where do we go from here, man? Chaos is where we go from here. I believe chaos is coming, and it's going to come in multiple forms. I've always thought that there was going to be like a cocktail of chaos. Chaos in the streets, chaos in the markets, chaos when you go to the grocery store, chaos in your neighborhood, chaos in the government, chaos all around, just all around chaos. That's what I see. And I see it taking forms. I think there will be a man-made financial crisis, a man-made shortage of things. You're starting to hear that more and more now in the mainstream media talking about shortages. All right, but just keep in mind that these are man-made shortages. All right, shortages are man-made by their very nature. Okay, that's what shortages are. It's man-made. Scarcity is an act of God. That means there's only a limited amount of apples on any given apple tree. Okay, that's just how that is. All right, an apple tree is not going to, produce a million apples for you every season. Okay, it can only grow but so much. So we got scarcity by nature. That should be understood right off the rip. Scarcity by nature. All right. But shortages, oh, that's all man right there. That's all man right there. That's his doing. All right, that's his doing. And you need to understand that too. So the only advice I got for you, is the advice I always have for you, which is you don't want to be dependent on the government for your life. All right, you don't want that. You don't want that. You want to be able to sustain yourself. I can't stress that enough. I've been warning people on my YouTube channel about all of this. And I don't know if people are listening or not. That's not on me though. I'm giving y'all what the real is. I'm telling you what time it is. I'm telling you what you need to do so you can protect yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're going to need to protect yourself to the best of your ability. And with knowledge comes that wisdom that you gain with experience by knowing these things. So, the clock has been ticking. Time is running out for you to be able to take control of your future. Some people are not going to have one because they didn't do the things they were supposed to do when they were supposed to do them. I've been warning about what's coming for a long time. And I've been telling you that what's coming is all man-made. These are the intended or unintended consequences of past choices and decisions. At the end of the day, that's what we got going on. And we gotta live with the unintended or intended consequences of those actions that we take and make every day. So that's what's happening right now. We're starting to see these unintended consequences of America's decisions and foreign policy decisions and things like that. We're starting to see that and what that looked like. So the universal basic income is going to be here. It's coming. I think they were just priming you with these stimulus checks to get you used to the idea of receiving these stimulus checks. They want you feeling some type of way about that. They want you to be comfortable with receiving that. That's what they want. They want you to know that you need to rely on the government for your daily sustenance and for your safety, your peace of mind, everything else. Your government wants to be God to you. All right. They don't want you worshiping your God. They want you to worship them. They want to be your God. They want to be your everything. And that's why, if you've been paying attention, you've been seeing the countries of the world moving in that direction. You know, you've been hearing the saying all around the internet, you own nothing and you'll be happy. Who gets to decide what you own? If you work and you pay for something, it's yours. The government does not have a right to come and take away what is yours, what you worked hard for. They don't get to come and declare eminent domain on your stuff. But the people are allowing this to happen. The people are okay with this happening. They're okay with losing everything. They're okay with not being allowed to work and earn a decent living. Not allowing entrepreneurism, because that's what this boils down to. They're saying to you, they don't want you out here on your grind. They don't want you on your grizzly. They don't want you hustling. They don't want you producing products and or services that people want and are willing to pay for because it makes their life a little bit easier. They don't want you doing that. They don't want you enterprising. They don't want you enterprising nor socializing. Why do you think they got that 6 foot distance thing in effect? Why do you think they're constantly telling you, nah, you shouldn't hug grandma, you'll kill grandma. No, you shouldn't hug or physically touch anybody. They're spitting all that game to you for you to just absorb and eat up. And they sit back and laugh. Like, look at these lemmings, look at these dumb people. We can tell them anything and they'll believe us because we told them to believe us, and they'll do it. Yeah, we told them that anything that does not come from us is fake news and they shouldn't listen to it. And guess what? It's working. People don't listen to them. Then they deplatform people so that you can't hear them. Make it harder for you to hear them. It's nonsense, man. It's nonsense. So here we are, and we find ourselves inside the twilight zone. The Russell My Hustle is down 10 points. NASDAQ's down 29 points. E-mini S&P down 39 points, but the Dow is down 500 points. There's a disconnect. There's something wrong. There's something broken. Gold is down $2. Silver's up 15 cents. Bitcoin futures just went positive, up 530. But yet, and still, your bonds are down 14.30 seconds. Something is broken. Oh, and your US dollar is also negative, down 14 pips. It actually hit the 89 handle this morning. Yeah, something's broken, ladies and gentlemen. We better figure out how to fix it real quick. Real quick. All right? Or the United States of America is in trouble. I can't speak on any other nation because I don't live in any other nation. I'm in America. And I can tell you that the West is in trouble. And the people, the citizenry, don't even realize it. They're oblivious. They're moving around day to day oblivious. They're just happy that they can go outside. They're just happy because the weather changed and the government has now given them permission to go outside. So they're like little children, when you call for recess. They're outside at recess and they couldn't be more happy. They don't care about, and they're having a care of the world. They're not thinking about nothing. All they know is, mom and daddy said I can go out and play. Oh man, the bell just rang in school. It's time for recess. Let's go outside and play. And that's all people are thinking about, going outside and playing. Ooh, it's recess. Anyway, just something to think about, man, moving forward. This is why you need your own income stream. All right. That's why you need the PulseWave reports, man, because we do this. We show you how you can make a lot of money trading these markets. And we don't just trade stocks. We don't just trade futures. We don't just trade forex. We trade cryptos. We trade everything. And we show you how you can get down with the get down so that you can have a strong income stream, because you're going to need it, man. The universal basic income is not going to be enough. I don't know why people are excited about that. It's not going to be enough to live off of. It's just not. All right. Wake yourself up, man. Get hip to game. You know, if something is so good for me, why do they need to pay me to take it? If the vaccines are so safe and so good for me, then why are they trying to pay to take it? To pay people to take it. If it's so good and so healthy, with no side effects. If it's so perfect and so good, and America's so holy, then why did you have to give the vaccine manufacturers immunity and freedom from prosecution? And not just that, but then backdate it. Why do you feel the need to do that if it's so good for me and so safe? You would not have a problem making people do something that's good for them with no side effects, or very minimum side effects. You wouldn't have to beg people to take the vaccine. They'll be beating the door down trying to get at it. And then they've even made it free. You don't have to pay a dime for the vaccine. It's free. And people still don't want to take it. That should tell you something. This is what happens when you don't allow for public debate, for public forum. This is what happens when you don't allow for these things to happen. Okay? This is what happens. Because you wouldn't allow town hall meetings. You wouldn't allow for scientists to duke it out with each other live on stage. You didn't allow it. You didn't allow for the citizenry to ask the real pertinent, serious questions. You didn't allow any of that. So now you're stuck with parading black faces on TV. All right, they're showing you black women, black men that happen to be doctors, epidemiologists, whatever they are, athletes, rappers, whatever, saying, yeah, man, you should get your vaccine. I got mine, man. It's good to go. I'm good. I'm healthy. I'm taking care of my family, you know. I'm doing my part to benefit society. If you black, you need to go get it. You ain't black if you don't go get it. You shouldn't have to do any of that for something, like I said, that is good for you. Something that's good for you. You notice they never have to place ads for hard liquor. You notice that? They don't have to place ads for hard liquor. Hard liquor sales are up with no advertisement. Okay? I haven't seen one blunt TV commercial. I haven't seen that one blunt commercial during the Super Bowl, during the halftime show. I haven't seen that one commercial about blunts or hard liquor, and yet those sales are up. Something that people enjoy, something that people want, you ain't got to force them to do it because they already want it. Anyone under the sound of my voice that's ever been in sales, you've heard this phrase before. Oh, don't worry about it. It sells itself. It sells itself. The quality and everything is so superior, it sells itself. You work at a Lexus dealership selling Lexuses? You're not going to have no hard time selling a Lexus. It's a quality car. It sells itself. Mercedes-Benz. Yeah, man, I sell Mercedes-Benz. I work at a Mercedes-Benz dealership. You ain't struggling to sell a Mercedes. It sells itself. People already know what they're getting when they come there. BMW, Porsche. Really? Bentley, Lamborghini, Ferrari. You struggling selling those? Nobody wants to buy it? Are you kidding? People know what that is. They can't wait to floss in one of those. Hmm? You don't see no advertising for those on TV. And yet their sales are up because then their names are synonymous with quality, status symbols. Same thing with designer clothes. You ain't gotta trick people to go and buy Chanel or Gucci or Louis Vuitton. You ain't gotta do that. You ain't gotta do that. The names are synonymous with flyness. If you rock this, you're gonna be fly. They don't have to come on TV and convince you or trick you to do it. They don't have to pay you to go and get yourself a Gucci bag. Please come buy a Gucci bag. We will give you $50 just to take this Gucci bag off our hands. No, no, no. The president of Ferrari. Look, man, I will give you $100 if you just come and take one of these Ferraris off my hand. Please. You don't see them having to trick you or pay you to come do something that you enjoy. No. You don't have to do that for things that you know people don't want. See what I'm saying? Anyway, I've taken enough of y'all time. Smash that like button. And remember, you know what this is, man. Bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. And I'm out. Peace.